Okay, you're going to move somewhere along the Oregon coast. You're going to want to know the cost of living. We all saw the cost of living go up dramatically in 2020, 2021, and we don't expect that to change for 2022. Doesn't look like it, unfortunately. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through cost of housing, property taxes, utilities, groceries. I'm going to show you some things maybe that are kind of hidden expenses or expenses you didn't know about. Maybe some things you just didn't know how they work, such as Oregon property taxes. And I'm going to break that down segment by segment, county by county along the Oregon coast. So hopefully you can find that perfect lifestyle in a place where you can really enjoy that lifestyle, not break the bank, not have to work all the time. And towards the end of this video, I'm going to show you a quick way to search homes that are not even on the market and get a feel for what the cost of certain homes are in a particular neighborhood or a city. All that's coming up now. Seth Marchant with the Home Team Brokers here. If you're new to this channel, living on the Oregon coast, we show you what it's like to live, work, eat, sleep, play, all the pros and cons, and in this case, the cost of living along the Oregon coast. So tap the bell, hit the subscribe button. That way you'll get notified each time we drop a new video. We get people reaching out to us all the time that want to move along the Oregon coast, and we always love to hear from you and help you. So give us a call, send us an email, send us a text. You can even click the link below to schedule a Zoom call if that works best for you. No matter how you get in touch with us, we've got your back when it comes to moving to the Oregon coast. Alright, so let's start with the most expensive cost first, housing. And I'm going to pair property taxes with housing. Those two things kind of go hand in hand, so I'll show you how those work. So national average for homes in the state of Oregon is 438,000. On a ranking scale, with 100 being the average, anything below 100 being below average and above 100 being above average, Oregon falls at 148. So what that means is roughly average of $438,000 is about 50% more expensive than the average home across the United States. So if you're coming from outside of Oregon, especially if it's not from like California or Washington, you're probably going to find that homes are going to be more expensive, not only in the state of Oregon, but also along the coast. Now that's not true everywhere, but that is true in most places along the Oregon coast. And the property taxes in the state of Oregon, how do those work? Okay, so each county has a different percentage. For every $1,000 you would pay a percentage of the assessed value of your home. So there's a county assessor, there's somebody that assesses the value of your home, and then based on whatever the percentage is for your county, that's how much the property taxes are. Now, I don't know if that's normal or not. I don't know how property taxes work in all the other states throughout the country, but that's how it works in the state of Oregon. We do also have a law that states that the assessed value cannot go beyond 3% every year. So if your home is assessed at $100,000, the next year it can't be assessed for more than $103,000. Now this is great in the market that we're in because home values are skyrocketing, and if property taxes were simply, if there was no cap on the assessed value for each year, you might see your property taxes go up really high. But with that 3% cap for every year, even though home values are skyrocketing, your property taxes aren't going to jump up more than, again, 3% every year. So let's say the county that you're in, the property taxes are 1%, so 1% of 1,000. So if your home's assessed at $1,000, you would pay a $1,000 property tax. All right, so let me break that down for you county by county along the Oregon coast. First, the northernmost county, Clatsop County. The average home sale cost over the past year was $428,000. The average assessed value was $268,000. So that's what you would pay property taxes on, that $268,000 that somebody assessed it at, not the average sales price of $428,000. And the percentage is 0.85%. So you would pay 0.85% of, let's say, if your home was $268,000 assessed, you would pay 0.85% of that. And that ranks at 134 nationally, so well above the national average. Next county to the south is Tillamook County. The big city in there is Tillamook, home of the Tillamook Cheese Factory. Average sale price in the past year, $372,000. Average assessed, $240,000, and that's at 0.74%. And that ranks 123 nationally, so also above the national average. So if you're coming from out of the state, you're going to find that property taxes, or maybe what you're used to, is a little bit higher. If you're coming from within the state, like say from a Portland, you're going to find things are a little bit lower. All right, next is Lincoln County. Average home sale value, $371,000. Average assessed, $233,000, and that's at an even 1%. So if your home's assessed at $233,000 in Tillamook County, pay that 1%, you're paying $2,330 in property tax for the year. Next is Lane County. Average home price, $393,000. Assessed is $246,000 at 1.04%. That ranks 102 nationally, so just above the national average. And Lane County along the Oregon coast is kind of a small area. Florence is the bigger town, and Florence is a pretty small town. Lane County kind of stretches all the way towards, east of the Cascades over to Eugene, where homes are probably a little bit more expensive. So I think Eugene is probably driving up that average home sale price more so than what you might find on the actual coast. So even though Lane County is a little bit higher with their average home sale price, you probably won't find homes to be that expensive on the actual coastal part of Lane County. Next is Douglas County, similar to Lane County, just south of it, small area. Reedsport's one of the bigger towns, and again, that's not a huge town. Their average home sale over the past year is $258,000, and the assessed was $186,000, and that's at 0.84%, and that ranks 85. So that's below 100, so that would be below the national average. And then following that is Coos County, which you have Coos Bay and North Bend in Coos County, two of the larger, more populous areas along the Oregon coast. Average home sale there, $266,000. Average assessed tax value, $188,000. And that's at 0.91%. That ranks 82 nationally. So again, below the national average. So those two counties, Douglas and Coos County, both below the average. With a pretty low tax rate, so that might be where you're looking for if you're looking to save. And then finally is Curry County. That is the southernmost county on the Oregon coast, so it shares the border with California, Northern California. The bigger towns in Curry County would be Gold Beach and Brookings. And the average home values over the past year, their average home sale, $373,000, assessed $251,000, and that's at 0.66%. So they have the lowest tax rate in Curry County. The average home sale price is not that low. So you've got a lot of nice homes there, you got lower tax rate. So if you're looking for a nice house and you want a lower tax rate, Curry County might be your best bet. That ranks 137th nationally, so well above the national average. All right, next thing, if you live in Oregon, which a lot of you probably watching this do, you're gonna know this, but for people outside of the state, there is one unique thing about this state, and we do not have sales tax. So that's where you're gonna save a little bit. Income taxes a little bit higher in the state of Oregon, so if you're working, you're not gonna be saving that much. That's where they kind of get you, but no sales tax in the state of Oregon. All right, next we have groceries. So groceries in the state of Oregon, as well as along up and down the coast, rank right about even with the rest of this country. So they're rated right at about 100. Maybe you'll find a few points higher, a few points lower along the Oregon coast, but all in all, your groceries are going to be about the same cost, regardless of kind of where you're coming from. If you're probably coming from a place where costs are around the national average. And I did do some price shopping, and as far as what you're looking at for grocery stores along the Oregon coast, you do have a Costco in Astoria, which again is like Clatsop County, northern part of the Oregon coast. Other than that, you're looking at some Safeways and Fred Meyers spread out through central to the northern Oregon coast. And once you get farther to the southern Oregon coast, some of those bigger names kind of drop off. I think McKay's might be the bigger kind of name down there, which is a small kind of like local to, I don't know how many states, they probably don't even cover more than a few states. I don't think they're too big, but you kind of, that's what you see along the southern Oregon coast is the McKay's grocery store. So I did some price shopping with those, and comparing the Oregon coast, and I took what I thought might be a little bit more expensive. I figured that maybe the smaller places might be a little bit more expensive than say a Safeway or a Fred Meyer, and I compared things like milk and beef, and I actually found some prices that were less expensive with the McKay's grocery stores as compared to the Safeways or the Fred Meyers. So you might be surprised if you're going to maybe the southern Oregon coast or maybe looking for some of the smaller towns, the groceries might not be as expensive. Now, aside from the groceries, most of us like to go out. Those costs, we've all kind of seen. If you have like a restaurant that you typically tend to frequent, you see like the prices going up $1 here, $2 there. You know, restaurants have really been struggling to find workers, struggling to stay open and stay profitable with all these different things going on right now. So restaurants are really struggling, and their costs are going up just like everything else. But along the Oregon coast, there's quite a few different restaurants that are really great restaurants and really affordable as well. So if you're looking to go out and you're somebody that likes to go out, especially again, kind of similar to the grocery stores, the farther you stay north, the more population there is, and typically the more restaurants there are. And so if you take Astoria, for example, you get a lot of breweries there, a lot of great food, a lot of great restaurants, sort of similar to like the food scene in Portland. Bowie's amazing, Fort George is great. Me and my friends and family spent a lot of time in those two places over the year, and their prices compared to Portland, not a whole lot different, not a whole lot more expensive, not a whole lot less expensive. And again, Portland being right there, kind of in line with the national average. All right, next, your utilities. Utilities along the Oregon coast, ranked nationally, they're about 25% less than what the national ranking is for whatever reason, whatever reason that is. So you'll probably find that your utilities are going to be a little bit less. One thing that people are really usually focused on, especially if you're going to be in more of a rural area, is the internet. How good is the internet? How expensive is the internet? What you're looking at as far as internet goes along the Oregon coast, CenturyLink, Spectrum, HughesNet, maybe some smaller kind of local providers. No Comcast, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think Comcast has a pretty good product, but other than that, never met anybody that likes Comcast. So no Comcast, and the cost I found on average, you're looking at about $50 for 25 megabytes, which is not a lot of megabytes. That's maybe enough to run like one Netflix. You're gonna be looking at more like $100 for high-speed internet if you're doing a lot of video streaming, if you got kids, if you got a lot of people that are streaming a lot of stuff. And I guess that's around national average. Seems a little bit high to me, but according to the data, that's about national average. Now, healthcare, the national average for Portland is 90. So healthcare is a little bit less expensive in Portland's relative to the rest of the country. In Astoria, it's 100, so it's dead even with the rest of the country. Newport, it's 108. Coos County, it's a 99, so again, almost even. So your healthcare is right in line with kind of what the national average is. For some reason, maybe a little bit more than Portland. So if you're coming from Portland, you might see it be a little bit more, but I know there's a lot of great hospitals and a lot of great doctors. A lot of people that buy second homes along the Oregon coast. Some of those people are doctors. So you're getting some really great healthcare, really great professionals along the Oregon coast. All right, next is gas prices. Everybody likes to talk about gas prices. So, and those vary too from place to place, town to town, and state to state quite a bit. So you might be surprised depending on where you're coming from. The average in the state of Oregon is $3.73 for regular. It's $4.10 for premium. Now, I searched a lot of gas stations up and down the Oregon coast, and I found those prices to be pretty consistent. I did fill up not too long ago at a gas station. I think I was in Seaside, and I think premium was close to $5 a gallon. And I have a 36-gallon tank in the vehicle I usually drive, so that was a little bit of a surprise seeing that total. I think it topped out at $150 before it actually stopped. Lots of times the gas stations will stop at $100 before they'll let you keep going. This one stopped at $150 before I was even full. So you might be a little bit surprised by gas prices when you're coming to the state of Oregon if you're coming from somewhere else where gas isn't as expensive, but it seems to be pretty consistent up and down the coast. And then car insurance. Now, I got a few quotes for car insurance from a few different places for my car, and I did find those to be kind of a little bit less than the national average, also a little bit less than Portland prices, and that's for an older car, 2014 Ford F-150 Raptor, a little bit more expensive car too, but the average cost I was seeing anywhere from $50 to $80 a month, and that seemed to be lower than national costs. At least for that type of vehicle. So it looks like your car insurance for most people is going to be a little bit less than the average, the national average, and probably a little bit less than if you're coming from maybe some other places in Oregon, such as Portland, probably because crime rate, and you're probably not getting a whole lot of stolen cars up and down the Oregon coast. Not a lot of traffic, probably not as many accidents. I don't know what the reason is, but car insurance is a little bit less along the Oregon coast, so that's one place you'll be saving as well. And then next we've got childcare. Childcare, it's kind of tough to put some numbers to childcare. There's a lot of people out there providing childcare, and you're probably going to find a lot of different rates, but there is some data out there, and Oregon does rank a little bit higher nationally. Nationally, people tend to pay about $9,000 a year roughly for childcare, and that's going to vary depending on how old the child is, infant, toddler, whatever it may be. In Oregon, you're seeing closer to above $10,000, maybe $11,000 a year for childcare. So your childcare is going to be a little bit more expensive. And then last, like I mentioned, I'm going to show you just a quick way if you want to get a feel for what houses cost, even houses that aren't on the market, or at least what a good estimate of their value is in a particular city or neighborhood. I'm going to show you that now.
All right, as I mentioned to you at the beginning of this video, there's a quick and easy way to search online homes that are not necessarily on the market and get a feel for what home values are in a particular area. So you go to Zillow.com and just hit the search function. It's probably going to default to wherever you're looking at last. Make sure up here all of your filters are removed, so you don't want to have any price or beds or anything like that. And they're going to default to homes for sale, again, without the filters removed. So that should bring up everything. And what you're going to do is just scroll into the area that you want to take a look at. So let's say that I want to find a home around here, around this park. And as you can see, there's nothing currently for sale around this park. But maybe it's my dream to live around this park someday. And so I kind of want to get a feel for what home prices are around that park. Well, if you scroll in far enough, should be one more scroll here. What you're seeing here, these are called Zestimates. This is Zillow's estimate of the home's value. Now, oftentimes, these are pretty spot on. So these are a pretty good estimate. Now, if you really want to know for sure an accurate estimate of your home, you're definitely going to want to contact myself or somebody else from the Home Team Brokers, and we'll get you an accurate estimate for your home. But just eyeballing a neighborhood, these numbers are usually pretty accurate for the most part. And so what I can say to myself is, if I want to live by this park, here's what we've got. And homes are kind of ranging in the 300s, the 400s. There's a few 5s, there's a few 2s here and there. So that's a real quick way for me to get a feel for, if I want to live in this area, what homes are going to go for. And another way you can do it is to switch over to sold here. and we're going to actually be able to see all the homes that were sold in the past year. So quite a few homes. So if I'm wondering what the market's like and like, hey, what are the chances of a home opening up for sale in this area around this park at some point in the future over the next year, if we expect trends to continue, and get a feel for how many homes we might expect to see on the market in the next year, maybe 15 or 20 or so. So quite a few. So and again, kind of ranging from the 300s, 400s. There's a few 200s, maybe a 500. If you're thinking about buying or selling on the Oregon coast or really anywhere around Oregon, get in touch with us at the Home Team Brokers. Give us a call, send us an email, shoot us a text, click the link in the description to set up a Zoom. And if you've experienced any kind of hidden costs or unexpected costs or anything to do with the cost of living going up or maybe even down, maybe you've got some good news, share that with us here in the comments. Thanks, everyone.